It was just another ordinary event for Keanu Reeves, one of Hollywood's biggest stars, walking into a crowded event hall with thousands of eager fans waiting to get a glimpse of him. The excitement was palpable, but little did anyone know, a single moment at that event would change a life forever. But this wasn't about the usual autographs or selfies. This moment was different. Amelia, a quiet young woman in her mid-20s, sat near the back of the auditorium, too nervous to join the crowd closer to the front. She had been a fan of Keanu Reeves for years, but life hadn't been kind to her. Struggling with depression and anxiety, Amelia had been fighting a deep internal battle. She felt invisible and isolated, as though no one saw her anymore. Despite her love for Keanu's films, especially The Matrix and John Wick, she never felt she had the strength to face the world. On this particular day, Amelia had decided to attend the event as a final attempt to find some hope. She told herself that if something good didn't happen soon, she wasn't sure how long she could keep pushing forward. She had no idea, however, that Keanu was about to unknowingly give her the motivation she needed. The event started, and Keanu took the stage, greeting the crowd with his signature humility and warmth. But among the thousands of excited fans, one figure caught his attention: Amelia. He didn't know who she was, but he could sense something different about her. While most fans were cheering and holding up signs, Amelia sat silently, almost as though she were invisible. Keanu, who had been used to the usual spotlight and adoration, felt an inexplicable pull toward Amelia. He wasn't sure why, but something about her quiet presence called to him. The crowd roared as Keanu spoke about his latest movie, but his eyes kept drifting to the back of the room where Amelia sat. Suddenly, without any warning, Keanu did something completely unexpected. In the middle of his speech, he stopped, looked directly at Amelia, and pointed toward her. The room fell silent, unsure of what was happening. Then Keanu spoke the words that would echo in Amelia's mind forever. "You, in the back. Yes, you, the one who's not standing, not cheering. What's your name?" The crowd was silent. Amelia froze. Her heart skipped a beat. Was he talking to her? She hadn't been vocal. She hadn't waved or shouted like the other fans. She barely even felt like she belonged here. But now, Keanu Reeves, the man who had inspired millions, had just singled her out. For a moment, it felt like the world had stopped spinning. Amelia's voice was shaky as she quietly said, "Amelia." Keanu smiled warmly, his eyes locking onto hers. "Amelia," he said softly, "I want you to know something. You matter. We all get lost sometimes, but it's okay. You're seen." The crowd erupted in applause, but Amelia was no longer aware of anyone else. She felt seen, for the first time in years. Her anxiety and depression had convinced her that no one cared, but now, this moment had shattered that belief. Keanu Reeves, of all people, had seen her, and he had given her a message of hope. After the event, Keanu invited Amelia to meet him backstage. This wasn't something he did often. His schedule was packed, and there were hundreds of fans waiting for their moment. But something about Amelia's quiet vulnerability made him feel compelled to reach out to her. Amelia entered the backstage area, unsure of what to expect. Keanu greeted her with his signature calm demeanor and asked her how she was feeling. For the first time in a long time, Amelia found herself opening up to him. "I've been struggling," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know how to keep going sometimes. I feel invisible, like no one sees me. I thought today would be the same, just another day where I'm lost in the crowd." Keanu, who had been through his own personal battles, listened patiently. He knew what it felt like to be in a dark place. He shared stories from his own life about loss, loneliness, and the importance of believing in oneself. "What I've learned," Keanu said softly, "is that life is full of twists. You can be at your lowest point and still have something beautiful waiting for you. The key is to keep moving forward, no matter how small the step. Sometimes it's just a matter of seeing things differently. You matter, Amelia. You always have. Amelia left the event that day with a sense of clarity she had never experienced before. She had come to the event expecting nothing more than a fleeting encounter with her idol. But what she had received was a life-changing message, one that ignited a spark of hope she hadn't felt in years. The next few weeks were difficult, as change always is, but Amelia remembered Keanu's words. Keep moving forward. She began to push herself out of her comfort zone. She reached out to old friends, started exercising, and even took up painting, a hobby she had abandoned long ago because she felt she wasn't good enough. Slowly but surely, her life began to change. The pain of her depression didn't vanish overnight, but the darkness began to lift, piece by piece. Amelia found strength in her own resilience, and it all started with a moment of kindness and recognition from a stranger who became an unexpected source of inspiration. A year later, Amelia stood on a stage of her own, speaking at an event where she shared her story of overcoming hardship. She had become a motivational speaker, helping others who struggled with anxiety and depression find hope in their own lives. And all the while, she carried with her the lesson Keanu had taught her that day. You matter. You're seen. As the crowd cheered, Amelia looked at the audience, her eyes scanning the room for someone who might need to hear those same words. And in the back of the room, she noticed a young woman sitting quietly, just like she once had. Amelia smiled to herself and walked toward her. It wasn't just Keanu's words that changed her life. It was the message of kindness and connection, the reminder that we all matter. Sometimes we think the smallest actions, like a moment of eye contact, a simple gesture, can't make a difference. But those are the moments that can change a life. Keanu Reeves didn't just give Amelia a moment of recognition. He gave her a gift of hope, a gift that she would go on to share with the world, paying forward the kindness she had received. What would happen if we all took a moment to see the person next to us? What if we all became someone's unexpected spark of light? The truth is, we never know how our actions will ripple out into the world. Sometimes it's a single moment that shifts everything.